Hi there, I'm Andrew. Welcome to Urban Rider for another look at some of the world's finest riding gear. Today we're going to be showcasing the new Belstaff Tourmaster Pro. This is new for 2019. It's part of the all-new 2019 spring-summer lineup from Belstaff. All the garments incoming to us from this range are now fully CE approved. And this is fantastic because we can stand here and tell you that these wonderful looking, greatly crafted, premium bits of motorcycle fashion gear are every bit as technical and safe as the really boring looking stuff that you see most motorcyclists in. The Tourmaster Pro sits at the top of the Trialmaster range of jackets that Belstaff produce and have been producing for nearly 100 years, refining and improving the tailoring and the safety elements in the materials to the jacket, but maintaining that overall iconic look to them. The standard Trialmaster Pro comes in at $575. You can check that out in one of our other video reviews. The Tourmaster Pro that we have here comes in at $725, and this is because it offers the maximum amount of versatility in terms of the technical side of things and also in terms of ventilation, as well as a few revisions to the outer fabric as well. So we'll go through those points in more detail in a moment, but just to mention, here we have the men's, which is only available in this black color. We also have the trousers. You can join up to it as well, which we're going to feature later on in another video review. It's not necessary to buy them together. You can simply go for one or the other. There's also a ladies variant of the Tourmaster Pro, which is the Tourmaster Pro Ladies, and that is equally available and in stock now. That actually comes in at a slightly lower price of £625. So there's a £100 difference between them. And as you can see from the pictures, there's a few main points of difference on the front. So there's no chest pockets on the front of the ladies to give it a slightly more simplified front and sleek design. And also you have the level 1 CE approved D3O armour in the elbows and shoulders included in the ladies, but you have the level 2 in the men's. It's because the level 2 is slightly bulkier compared to the ladies, and the ladies being a smaller jacket on the whole, therefore fits a bit more neatly. I actually thought that the men's had level 1 in when I tried it on because it really does integrate very, very neatly despite being slightly thicker. So let's go on to that point. This comes included in the elbows and shoulders. You have a pocket where you can optionally upgrade for the back protection as well if you want to. But this jacket, the main sort of standout difference between this and the normal Trialmaster Pro new for 2019 is the fact that this has a TekWax outer fabric. So Belstaff have been making wax cotton garments for many years. They team up with British Millerain, who are pretty much the leading UK house for making wonderful wax cotton garments. And what they tend to do is they use the British Millerain, they wax the outer, and then you have a seam-sealed, waterproof and breathable membrane beneath that. In the case of this, for this year, British Millerain and Belstaff have developed a new variant of the actual outer fabric themselves called TekWax. And this features nylon interwoven with the wax cotton outer to basically make it stronger and more abrasion resistant. So this clearly makes it more technical. For longevity, it's better. Even if you're wearing this a lot, it's going to give you far better durability against abrasion. It's about 50% nylon, 50% wax cotton, which I was really surprised to hear because actually when you feel and wear this TekWax garment, it honestly doesn't feel any different at all to the normal wax cotton that Belstaff have been using for years, which is great. So you essentially have something that's better, but looks and feels the same as something that's more casual in its nature. So that's a really great move. The actual wax itself, so they coat it, it's an 8 ounce as opposed to the 10 ounce that we're getting on the Trialmaster Pro. That is the standard Trialmaster in Belstaff's range now. And the Tourmaster Pro has an 8 ounce, so it's actually slightly lighter as well, which is great because you've got the ability here to use this jacket through more seasons. You have a 125 gram thermal removable liner, and you have much more going on in terms of the venting options too. So if you compare this to the standard Trialmaster Pro, you'll notice that there are a few key differences other than the outer. So the zippers that we have here across the front have these horizontally accessed vent pockets which actually have a waterproof seal on the YKK zip, and that's going to be a great point to inlet air through the jacket. And we also have that very neatly integrated into the bicep area on the arm, so you can get a really good degree of airflow coming through the jacket from those points. And on the rear 3/4 section on the back, you have the exit vents. So this is something that a normal Trialmaster Pro doesn't have, and this gives it much better performance in the hotter weather, which is the one potential weak spot of the Trialmaster jacket. It's being a wax cotton, it's slightly less breathable, and because it's slightly heavier than a summer jacket, obviously, it's not going to be as cool on really hot days. This gives you much more versatility and this degree of airflow, which I do think is very neatly integrated. Often you see very garish and obvious ventilation systems on jackets, but this one is quite subtle overall, and I think it does a really good job. We also do away with the single waist belt around the front, and we have the 2 waist belt adjusters either side, and those can actually be adjusted on the go quite easily, which is another good, slightly functional element to the jacket. It's called the Tourmaster Pro. I think the idea here is that if you want the absolute height of touring fashion, then this is the jacket to go for. It offers you that little bit extra, which if you are genuinely using this for touring a lot or long distance riding, you would appreciate those things. And over the amount that you use it, I think you can justify away yourself the price differentiation between this at $725 and the Trialmaster at $575. Other than that, the features are not too dissimilar to what we get in the Trialmaster. So we have the same Belstaff branded snappers with the lovely engraved Belstaff writing logo into them. They're spring loaded on the back, so they're really easy to operate. We also have the rubberized 2 lower snappers. We have breathers under the arm. We have the gold Belstaff logo on the sleeve, which looks great and tones in really nicely with this black. You actually get a velvet interior lining to the collars and cuffs, making it even softer, and that is something that differentiates slightly from the standard Trialmaster 2. Another point that I like, which is something that probably people think is a bit uninteresting, but I really like the fact that on the underside of the male part of the poppers, you can see you've got this finger access point. This makes it so much easier to do up because you're not trying to squeeze 2 folds of fabric together. You literally just get behind the back of the popper and squeeze it together. This is the kind of thing that makes the jacket much more pleasurable day to day, and subconsciously you're more likely to reach for it knowing that it's not a faff to put on even if you're in a hurry. You've also got this central Belstaff zip with the roll bar system. You actually have the overlay flap here on this collar piece as well, with Belstaff branding just on that little bar, which is quite neatly, subtly done. You've got the Union Jack logo, a nice little feature on the left chest pocket. A lot of people like that. And on the inside, you can see this lovely liner. It's so simple to remove. It's a simple zip system that runs around the perimeter with a couple of poppers on the back. You've got a vertically accessed YKK zip here on the inside, so you can store things like your phone, because that's sitting underneath the waterproof layers. So in terms of the waterproofing, the actual wax itself, this 8 ounce, is designed as a sort of water resistant barrier. So the water is going to just run off unless you are really out in the rain for an extremely long amount of time. But the water running off is a good thing because it means that the fabric itself doesn't soak, it doesn't become heavy. This helps you regulate your body temperature better, and this is really what you want from a good motorcycle jacket. But underneath that, all across the double stitch seams, you have a seam sealed Myporex membrane. This is Belstaff's own waterproof and breathable membrane. They've been using it for years, and there's no need to change this because we've never had a single problem with it. It really does perform very well. Another feature, which actually I neglected to mention earlier on, is the fact that you have this very fine beading going down the inside and across this collarbone area, and that's actually a reflective strip. And this is another thing I like. It does have a few little details like that in terms of safety and maybe practicality, but you wouldn't really notice, and hence why I forgot to mention it the first time round. So this jacket is available and in stock now. It's the pinnacle of the Trialmaster if you want the most amount of function you can get out of this iconic Belstaff jacket. If you've got any questions, any thoughts or feedback you'd like to leave in the section below, do so please. We love hearing from you guys, and stay tuned for more video reviews of the world's finest riding gear. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.